I'm Professor Karin Friedrich at the University of Aberdeen, and I'm the coordinator of the MLitt program in Medieval and Early Modern Studies. Our program, the MLitt, or the Postgraduate Taught Masters in Early Modern, Medieval and Early Modern Studies at Aberdeen, is really in the context of a very old institution, founded in 1495. And I think it's important and very appropriate to study medieval and early modern history and culture in that setting. And of course, because of that age, we have really fantastic, wonderful collections and resources, which will be very good for the students. A wonderful special archive collection, a museum collection, and of course, city archives as well. And they go back many centuries.
My name is Annie Wilkinson, and I'm studying medieval through early modern history. So I chose to study at the University of Aberdeen because in America, it takes 2 years to get through your postgraduate studies, and here it's only a year-long program, which is great because you can get through so much faster and it's cheaper, but also it's Scotland and you can't be getting to see the actual history that you're studying. One of the great things about Aberdeen is that it is a tight-knit community. Even though it's a big city and you get that big city feel, you also have that tight-knit sense of community, and you have so many things to see, not only in the city of historical nature, but also outside of the city that are very close at hand. You've got lots of castles nearby that you can go and tour. Lots of things that you can see outside of the city that are relevant to what you're studying. And you can study something in a classroom and then right afterwards, go out into the countryside and see what you just learned about in the books. And so you're getting that not just hands-on, but firsthand experience of what you're learning.
We have a great flexibility in our program. It is a very individually designed program that will respond to an interest in lots of disciplines. So interdisciplinarity is very important. We have a new core course for the program now, interdisciplinary approaches to the Renaissance, which includes late medievalists as well as early modernists. It is taught by staff from a great variety of disciplines, so literature, philosophy, art history, and even music, for example. We also have somebody from law, and that really gives a great introduction, not just to historical studies, because the program is run from history, but it is really an interdisciplinary setting. So that interdisciplinarity is really the second point I want to emphasize. We have a program that is very much skills-based. It will prepare you for further studies if you decide to do a PhD, but it also will prepare you for a job market. The program is really very much focused on developing the skills people need to have good careers afterwards, whether academic or in the free market. And I think that's a really, really important aspect, to have skills in paleography, in languages, in how to write a dissertation well, how to present your studies, what you're interested in the public, for example. So we have a course that is designed to train your presentation skills, how to actually present your specialization to a wider public that might not be specialized. So that is all. These are all things that will be very important for your professional development later. And I think our emphasis on skills is a great strength. It's not just options; you have that as well. Lots of thematic options, but it's the skills part. I think that's the most important aspect of this program.
So I was really surprised just how hands-on the program is. From one of my professors, he brought in a medieval map and had us walk around the city and try and use the medieval map instead of Google Maps or something like that. And then we just have such access to the archives here as well at the library, getting to handle old books. I mean, they're 500 years old. A lot of them are older than my country. And so getting to actually touch those pages and look through the illustrations has just been absolutely incredible.
We have a lot of students from different backgrounds, from various disciplines, and some of them hope to actually enter academia after that. And the skills program that we have within the degree program is very useful for that, because it prepares for research, dissertation writing, research in the archives. We have a specialized course on archival studies, and that often makes people think what they can do academically, perhaps outside of academia. So, for example, go into museum studies or go into archives, curatorship. And we have a few examples of students who have done that. I know a student, for example, who worked for the whiskey industry. Employers really value the skills that we give our students. History skills, analysis, be able to read between the lines, for example, and be able to look behind the scenes. That's a very important skill that history, for example, teaches. But also to think across the disciplines, and the interdisciplinary nature of our program is really vital there. The program is highly flexible and is very good for people who are looking for a very individual program of studies. So, for example, we have several courses that are called directed reading or independent reading, and you can then choose a supervisor yourself, somebody from among our staff across the disciplines, not just in history, you can then devise a topic that you work up as an essay, a bibliography, you devise a reading list, and you talk about this with the specialist, and then write an essay at the end. Our experts are professors and lecturers here at the University of Aberdeen who have a great variety of backgrounds. In various disciplines. So we have, for example, people from English, from the English department, from the French department, from the music department even, from art history, from history, philosophy and so on, teaching on that program. And the specialists we have are all specialists in that period who have for many years worked on that, who have published widely, who have institutional connections across Europe and the wider world, and they go regularly to conferences. They are very well known, they're often cited. So we have a really international, high-profile cast of staff.
I think I really chose Aberdeen because I loved the sense of community that I was already starting to see, just from the website and from the professors and videos I was watching online of the school. And everybody seemed to be really passionate about what they were studying, and the students, and making sure that the students had a lot of one-on-one small class size attention, so that they're really helping and fostering that sense of mentorship. That was really wonderful. I really like that as well.
We have a really lively research culture. So we have seminars, postgraduate research students, for example, offer seminars and invite postgraduate taught students to that. And that link between the research students and the taught postgraduate students is particularly important for us because it shows the postgraduate taught students what they might expect if they want to go on to study a PhD at Aberdeen. And we also have common events. We have a training weekend where we invite postgraduate research and postgraduate taught students. It's away from the University of Aberdeen. It's in the sort of Scottish countryside, an 18th century manor house where we spend a really sociable and interesting research weekend where students present their research, where we have advice from staff who comes along, how to, for example, publish your first article. It is mainly geared towards postgraduate research students, but I know that, and I have the experience of many years of postgraduate taught students coming along to that. They usually organize the quiz night, and it's great fun. So that's something we offer. We also have institutional links beyond Aberdeen internationally. We have, for example, very good links. We are part of the consortium of the Newberry Library. It has a Renaissance Centre, Centre for Renaissance Studies. And there are opportunities there, once you decide to become a postgraduate research student, to go there to do research. There are opportunities here that are very specific to Aberdeen, and we invite you to come and try them. One thing I would like to emphasize about our program is that it is linked to the Center for Early Modern Studies. We have been the first research center for early modern studies in the UK, founded back in the very early 2000s. And that tradition, I think, is a very important one, and it is unique to Aberdeen because it really supports and sustains the research culture and also the teaching culture and the experience of the students here. We have regular lunchtime seminars, workshops, and therefore really add something to our research culture and to the teaching and to the knowledge that you can acquire here that other institutions do not have.